Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, and today we will talk about following God's instructions. The first fight I remember having with my wife was over putting together a bookshelf that we bought from Kmart. Now, I know you're wondering, why were you fighting? Well, I wanted to do the project my way. My wife wanted to follow the directions. Here's the truth of the matter. I hate putting things together. And part of my problem is I don't like to read or follow instructions. I've convinced myself that I can figure it out on my own. In fact, I could do it better. But I can't. But I think my way is faster and it will be more effective. And every time, it's not. We constantly need the reminder to follow the directions for our Christian life. Paul had the same message for the Thessalonian church in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 2. For you know what instructions we gave you through the Lord Jesus. In verse 1, Paul just encouraged and coached these spiritual children to keep walking in their faith as they have been doing and been taught to do. And now he says, for you know what instructions we gave you through the Lord Jesus Christ. There is an unpopular truth today that Jesus saves us on purpose and for a purpose. That purpose is to glorify God through our lives. So how can we do this? By following the Lord Jesus Christ with right motives. In Matthew 28:19, Jesus charges the disciples to make disciples of all nations, teaching them all that he had commanded them. It was the call to make disciples. Who what? Make disciples. So what is a disciple? A disciple is a student. And that student, they are to learn, but also imitate the teacher. The problem is, we don't want to be disciples. We don't want to be Christ followers. We want to be mavericks with salvation insurance. But that's not how this works. The Apostle John wrote in 1 John 5:2, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and obey His commandments. Children of God are privileged and motivated to follow the instruction book. We're not going to be like me. We're not going to hide the instruction book. We're not going to set it on fire. We're not going to get into fights with our wives over it. You see, our way is not the best way. God's way is. Remember, Jesus said in John 15:10, if you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in His love. If we love Jesus and want to show that love for Him, we will follow His instructions. And please, hear me. We don't follow Jesus for salvation. We follow Him and His instructions out of love. So here's my challenge for you today. Identify how you've hidden, removed, or ignored God's instructions for your life. How have you said no? How have you said no to God's path and yes to your own? Admit it, but also admit how it's worked out. And then I want you to give that control and that guidance back to God. God gave us an instruction manual to make our life much fuller than we ever could have dreamed. It's a life of meaning, purpose, hope, and redemption. That's an instruction manual I want to follow. How about you?